And the first question says here the first four terms of an arithmetic sequence 1, 5, 9, 13. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. So first we begin with finding the common difference. We know that 1 plus 4 gives us 5. 5 plus 4 gives us 9. And 9 plus 4 gives us 13, which means we have a common difference of 4. Now, whenever we're trying to find the nth term, once we have found the common difference, next step is to multiply that common difference with n. So what we have right now is 4n. Let's assume that the nth term is 4n. So if we try to find the first term, that's going to be 4 times 1, and that's 4. As you can see, the first term in the sequence is 1, not 4. So return 4 into 1, we will subtract 3 from it, and that gives us 1. So if we try to find another term, let's say the third one, that's 4 times 3 minus 3, which is 12 minus 3, and that is 9, which is the exact same as the third term in the sequence. So nth term is 4n minus 3. The next question says that work out 3 whole number 405 minus 1 whole number 203. So whenever we are adding or subtracting mixed numbers, let's first convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction, we multiply the denominator with the whole number and then add the result to the numerator. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. So 1905. Minus 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, 5. So 503. Next step is to see whether they have like denominators or unlike denominators. Since these two fractions have unlike denominators, we need to make the denominators equal. To make the denominators equal, we will multiply the second fraction by 5 and the first fraction by 3. Once we do that, we can see that they have a common denominator of 15 now. So 19 times 3 is 57 and 5 times 5 is 25. We can subtract them now. And that's going to give us 32 over 15, which in mixed number is going to be 2 whole number 2 over 15. That is your answer. Then it says Kevin was asked to work out 2 whole number 1 over 3 times 5 over 8. Here is his working and his answer. Kevin's answer is wrong. What mistake has Kevin made? So first step is exactly the same to convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 3. Now when we're multiplying fractions, we can multiply the numerator with the numerator and denominator with the denominator. If we can simplify the fraction, we can simplify it vertically and diagonally. In this case, since we can't simplify it, so we just multiply the numerators and the denominators. So that's 35 over 24. Now to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number, we will divide 35 by 24. So we know that 24 ones are 24, 24 twos are 48. 48 is bigger than 35, so we will take 24. So now we subtract 24 from 35, which is going to give us 11, not 9. So this is what Kevin did wrong. His answer should have been 1 whole number 11 over 24. And the next question says the diagram shows a plan of a floor. Petra is going to cover the floor with paint. Petra has 3 tins of paint and there are 2.5 liters of paint in each tin. Petra thinks 1 liter of paint will cover 10 meters square of floor. Assuming Petra is correct, does she have enough paint to cover the floor? You must show all your working. If 1 tin has 2.5 liters of paint, 3 tins will have 3 times 2.5, which is 7.5 liters. Now, 1 liter will cover 10 meters square. So 7.5 liters will cover 7.5 So 7.5 meters will cover 7.5 times 10, and that is 75 meters square. This is the amount of paint. This is the amount of area the paint will cover. Now we need to find the area of this plan. So to find the area of this plan, I'm going to divide this compound shape into two different rectangles. This is A, this is B. So area of A is going to be 10 times 5, which is 50 meters square. And area of B is going to be, this entire length is 8, this entire length is 5, so this is going to be 3. 3 times 6, which is 18 meters square. So total area is 50 plus 18, and that's 68 meters square. So the area of the plan is 68. The amount of area the 3 tins will cover is 75. So does she have enough paint? Yes, she does. Next part says actually 1 liter of paint will cover 11 meters square of floor. Does this affect your answer to part A? This will not affect our answer to part A because area of the plan is fixed. The plan is fixed, which was 68 meters square. So now if 1 liter of paint is covering 11 meters square, that means it's going to cover more. Because with even 10 meters square, we were getting 75 meters square of area being covered by 3 paints. So with 11, obviously it's going to cover more. So it's not going to affect your answer to part A. She still has extra paint to cover the floor. Question 4 says, here is a Venn diagram. Write down the numbers that are in set P complement. So P complement is basically everything that is not in P. So this and this. So the numbers that are not in P that are 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, and 17. These are your numbers. Then it says the numbers chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability that this number is in the set P union Q. So P union Q means P union Q is all elements in P and Q. So now we go back to the Venn diagram. P has 12, 15, 18. Q has 10, 14, 18. We're going to write 18 just once. So in total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements, and total elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is your probability for P union Q. Question 5 says Sophie drives a distance of 513 kilometers on a motorway in France. She pays 0.81 euros for every 10 kilometers she drives. Work out an estimate for the total amount that Sophie pays. So since they want us to work out an estimate, let's round 513 to 500, 0.81 to 1. So 1 euro gives us 10 kilometers. So 1 kilometer will give us 1 over 10 euros. And 500 kilometers will be 500 times 1 over 10, which is 50 euros. That is the total amount she will pay as an estimate. Then says, is your answer to part A an underestimate or an overestimate? Give a reason for your answer. 0.81 euros will help cover 10 kilometers. So for 1 kilometer, it's going to be 0.81 divided by 10 euros. That's for 1 kilometer. And then for 513 kilometers, we times 0.81 over 10 with 5 and 13. And that gives us 41.553 euros. So your answer to A is an overestimate. Next question says, here is a straight line drawn on a grid. Find an equation for L. So when you look at the graph, you can see that this is our y-intercept. And what we can do is that we can find the gradient using rise over run. So if I pick this point and this point, our rise over run will be rise is 3, run is 2. So y equals to mx plus c. We just substitute the gradient and the y-intercept in the slope-intercept form. So that's y equals to 3 by 2x plus 3. That is your answer. The next part, it says m is a different straight line with equation y equals to 5x. Write down the equation of a straight line parallel to m. So when two lines are parallel, L1, L2, the gradients are equal. So we can write any equation with the same gradient. So y equals to 5 over x. You can add anything to it. You can subtract anything to it. So if I add 1 to this is my equation. As long as this part is the same, you can add or subtract anything to this to give an equation of a line that is parallel to m. The next question says Qasim has some small jars, some medium jars, and some large jars. He has a total of 400 jars. 3/8 of the 400 jars are empty. For the empty jars, number of small jars is to number of medium jars is 3:4, and the number of medium jars is to number of large jars is 1:2. Work out the percentage of Qasim's jars that are empty small jars. So first, let's find out the empty jars. That's going to be 3/8 of 400, which is going to give us 150. Now, small jars to medium jars is 3:4. So small is to medium is 3:4. And medium is to large is 1:2. What we can do is we can combine it as a single ratio with small, medium, and large. But to do that, we need to make medium the same in both the ratios. So what we can do is in the second ratio, we can times it by 4. So now we have 4:2, which is the same as this. So small is to medium is to large becomes 3:4:2. 3:4:8. Now, work out the percentage of Qasim's jars that are empty small jars. So empty small jars are going to be empty small jars. That is going to be 3/15 because we add 3, 4, and 8 times 150, which is the total number of empty jars. That gives us 30 jars. So to find the percentage of empty small jars, I'm going to do 30 divided by 400, which is total number of jars, times 100. And that is going to give me 7.5%. That's your answer. Next question says that Len has 8 parcels. The mean weight of the 8 parcels is 2.5 kgs. The mean weight of 3 of the parcels is 2 kgs. Work out the mean of the other 5 parcels. So, sum of 8 parcels divided by 8, which is the number of parcels, equals to the mean weight, which is 2.5. So, sum of 8 parcels would be 2.5 times 8, which is going to give us 20 kg. Now, sum of 3 parcels is divided by 3 equals to 2 kg. This is the mean weight of 3 parcels. So the weight for the sum of 3 parcels in total is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6 kg. So that means sum of 5 parcels out of those 8 is going to be 20 minus 6, which is 14 kg. This is the sum. So mean weight would be 14 divided by the number of parcels, which is 5, and that gives us 2.8 kg. That is our mean weight. Next question says, in a sale, the normal price of a coat is reduced by R%. Given that sale price is 0.7 times the normal price, find the value of R. So if it's reduced by R% and the sale price is 0.7 times the normal price, that means R is 30%. We reduce the price by 30%, so that is 70% of the normal price. Next question says, solve the simultaneous equations. So 5x minus 2y equals 23 and 2x minus 3y equals to 18. So since the variables have like different coefficients in both the equations, I'm going to use elimination method to solve this. I'm going to eliminate y. So to eliminate y, I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3 and second equation by 2. Now we'll have 15x minus 6y equals to 69. 4x minus 6y equals to 36. To eliminate y, next what we need to check is whether they have same signs or different signs. Since both the 6y have same signs, which means we will subtract the equations to eliminate them. So when you subtract them, it's going to be 15x minus 4x, which is 11x. Negative 6y minus negative 6y is 0. 69 minus 36 is 33. So 11x equals to 33. X equals to 33 divided by 11, which is 3. Now we will substitute x equals to 3 in either of the equations to find the value of y. I'm going to pick the second one because that's shorter to solve. 2x minus 3y equals to 18. Replace x with 3. So now we have 6 minus 3y equals to 18. 6 minus 18 equals to 3y, which is negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 3 is y, which is negative 4. So x is positive 3 and y is negative 4. Question 11 says triangle A is translated by the vectors 6, negative 4. Give triangle B. Triangle B is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the point 1, 2 to give triangle C. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. So first, we translate A to give B. So mark the points. We have negative 2 and 2. Then we have negative 3 and 2. And negative 2 and 4. So when you translate these by the vectors 6, negative 4, to negative 2 we'll add 6 and to 2 we'll add negative 4. So basically to all the x values we're going to add 6 and to all the y values we will add negative 4. So this becomes 4, negative 2. Then we have 3, negative 2. And lastly 4, 0. So if you plot these, 4, negative 2, 3, -2, 4, 0. So this triangle B is 6 units to the right side and 4 units down. This is B. Then they're asking us to rotate B 90-degree clockwise about the point 1, 2 to give triangle C. 1, 2 is this point. This is our center of rotation. So we're going to rotate 90-degree clockwise triangle B to get triangle C. So if we look at this point over here, this is 1, 2, 3 units horizontally and 2 units vertically from C. So when you rotate it 90-degree clockwise, it's going to come over here, and this point will be 2 units horizontally and 3 vertically. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This is our first point. Then this point is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's going to be 4 horizontally, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, and then 2. This is it. And this point will be 1, 2, 3 horizontally and 4 vertically. It's going to be over here. Yeah, this is our triangle. So this is triangle C. I'll label this O because that's our center of rotation. So this is our answer. Then it says describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. So triangle A onto triangle C will be 90 degrees clockwise rotation around the point -4, 1. 90-degree clockwise rotation. That is for A to C. Question 12 says, here are some graphs. Write down the letter of the graph that could have the equation. So y equals to x squared minus 4. That's going to be h, because y equals to x squared is this. So bring it 4 units down. So that's going to be this one. This is y equals to x squared. Then y equals to negative x cubed. So this is positive x cubed. So e is positive x cubed, so negative would be f. And y equals to negative 5 over x, that's fractional function. So that's j. Because b shows the positive 1 over x or 5 over x. So j is the negative one. Next question says that table gives information about the amount of time that each of 150 people were in a shop. On the grid, draw a histogram for this information. So for histogram, we need the frequency density. And frequency density has the formula of frequency over class width. So we find the first frequency density, that's going to be 20 divided by 10, which is 2. Then for the second frequency density, that's going to be 70 divided by 20, which is 3.5. For the third frequency density, that's 22 divided by 5, which is going to give us 4.4. Fourth frequency density is going to be 30 over 15. That's 2. And the last one is going to be 8 over 10, which is 0.8. So on the y-axis, we'll plot the frequency density. On the x-axis, we'll use the time intervals. So 0 to 10, 10 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 50, so that's 40, that's 50, and then to 60. Now for the y-axis, we can make a scale of our biggest value is 4.4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0 to 10, it's 2. So that's our bar for that. Then 10 to 30, it's 3.5. 30, 35, it's 4.4. Which is then 35 to 50, we have 2 again. And the last one is 0.8. Okay. This is our histogram. And it says work out an estimate for the fraction of these 150 people who were in the shop for between 20 and 40 minutes. So between 20 and 40 minutes, those people are here and here. This is 20, this is 40. So we need basically these people, and these people. These are the people that we need. So what we're going to do is that we're going to find the number of people in these bars. So between 20 and 30, we can see that the frequency density was 3.5. So if we do 3.5 times 10, finding the area of the bars, for 2030, that's going to be 35. Then this was 4.4. So 4.4 times 5, that's going to give us 22. And then this is 2 again. So 2 times 5, that is 10. So if we add this up, 22 plus 35 plus 10, that gives us 67. So once we have the area of these bars, now we find the area of the entire histogram. So that's going to be for this, it's going to be 2 times 10, 20, plus 20 times 3.5, that's 70. Then 5 times 4.4, that's 22. Then we have 2 times 15, 30. And lastly, 0.8 times 10, which is 8. So now we add the total area. That's going to be 20 plus 70 plus 22 plus 30 plus 8, which is 150. So we will divide 67 by 150. And that is our fraction for the people who were between 20 and 40 minutes. Question 14 is expand and simplify. So I'm going to begin with expanding the first two brackets. So that's going to be 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 3 is 9x. Minus 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Minus 1 times 3, negative 3. Bracket x minus 5. So that's 6x squared plus 7x minus 3 times x minus 5. Now you multiply the x minus 5 with all the terms in the first bracket. So x times 6x squared is 6x cubed. X times 7x is 7x squared. Then negative 3x. 95 times 6x squared is negative 30x squared. Negative 5 times 7x is negative 35x. And negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. So now we combine the like terms. 6x cubed negative 30x plus 7x squared is going to be negative 23x squared plus 7x squared minus 30x squared is negative 23. Negative 3x minus 35 is negative 38x and plus 15. That is your answer. Question 15 says OAB is a sector of a circle with center O and radius 6 centimeters. The length of the arc AB is 5 pi centimeters. Work out in terms of pi the area of the sector. Give your answer in its simplest form. So the length of the arc is 5 pi. 5 pi equals to theta, which is our angle, divided by 2 pi, which is the length of the entire circle, times 2 pi, and r is 6. So the 2 pi get cancelled out, and 5 pi divided by 6 is theta. So area is going to be theta over 2 pi times pi r square, which is 5 pi over 6 times 1 over 2 pi times pi times 6 square. Pi get cancelled out. 6 and 1, 6 gets cancelled out. So 2 ones are 2, this becomes 3, so we're left with 15 pi. That is your area of the sector in terms of pi in its simplest form. There are only n orange sweets and 1 white sweet in a bag. Shaya takes at random a sweet from the bag and eats the sweet. She then takes at random another sweet from the bag and eats the sweet. Show that the probability that Sarah eats 2 orange sweet is n minus 1 over n plus 1. So the probability of her taking 2 orange sweet is first you take 1 orange sweet, so n over n plus 1. The total is n plus 1 because there are n orange sweets and 1 white sweet. Times her taking another orange sweet. So since she's taken 1 orange sweet, so there's 1 less orange sweet now. And the denominator, there is 1 less sweet as well now. So that leaves us with n over n plus 1 times n minus 1 over n. The n get cancelled out, so n minus 1 over n plus 1. That is exactly what they want us to prove in the question. Next question says rationalize the denominator of 1 over root 7. So to rationalize the denominator, we multiply and divide the fraction by the denominator, which is the surd in this case. So that's going to be root 7 over square of root 7. Square of a surd number is the number itself, so root 7 over 7. That's your answer. Part B says simplify fully root 80 minus root 5. So we prime factorize root 80. Root 80 is 8 times 10. 5 is a prime number, so it remains as it is. 8 is 4 times 2, and 10 is 2 times 5. So we can rewrite this as 4 times 4 times 5. We know 4 is a square number, so the 4 comes outside as 2. So when we take 2 4s outside, so that's 2 times 2. And that is 4 root 5 minus root 5, which gives us 3 root 5. That is your answer. Show that 0.15 recurring plus 0.227 recurring can be written in the form of m over 66, where m is an integer. So 0.15 recurring is basically 0.15, 15, and so on. And 0.227 recurring is 0.2, and then 27 gets keep on repeating. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to add the 2 first. So 0.227 recurring plus 0.15 recurring. That gives us 0.378 7, so on. So now we're going to assume that x equals to 0.378, so on. So to convert this into a fraction, I'm going to first multiply x with 10. So I multiply x with 10, that gives us 3.78 7, 8, 8, 7, so on. When you multiply x with 100, that gives us 37.8787. And you multiply with 1,000, that gives us 378.787, and so on. So our goal is to get rid of the numbers after the decimal. So if we subtract this and this, we can see that the numbers after the decimal are the same. So we'll get rid of all the numbers after the decimal and we'll be left with whole numbers. So 1000 x minus 10x equals to 378.787 onwards minus 3.787 onwards. So that's 990x equals to 375. Now x is 375 over 990, which simplifies to 25 over 66. So m is 25. Next question says that ABC and DAB are similar isosceles triangles. So let's highlight these now. So AB is similar to DA. AC is similar to DB. And BC is similar to AB. Okay. AB equals to AC. This equals to this, and this equals to this. BC is to CD is 4 is 21. Find the ratio of AB is to AD. So we can see that BC divided by AB, because BC and AB are congruent, because BC and AB are similar, would equal to AC over BD, because AC and BD are similar. So using this property of similar triangles, because in similar triangles we believe that the shape is either enlarged or like reduced in size, using a common scale factor, and that common scale factor is changing the length. So what we're going to do is that if BC is to CD is 4 is to 21, which means BD would be 25, because that's the total of it. So if we write the length for it and assume that BD is X, so BC is basically 4/25 of X, and CD is 21 over 25 of X. Okay. So I'm going to substitute these into this equation that we've created. So BC is 4 over 25x, and AB, which is the same as AC, that's going to come as it is. And I'm going to replace AC with AB as well, because they're basically the same. And BD is X. So if you cross multiply, we have 4 over 25 X squared equals to AB squared. Take the square root on both sides. So we're left with 2 over 5x equals to AB. So we know what AB is. So AD is already the same as BD. So if we assume BD to be X, AD is also going to be X. So AB is to AD would be 2/5 of x is to x. The x get cancelled out. We multiply both sides by 5. So 2:5 is your ratio for AB is to AD. Question 20 says 2 to the power of x equals 2 to the power of n over cube root of 2 and 2 to the power of y equals to square root of 2 whole power 5. Given that x plus y equals to 8, work out the value of n. So let's create an equation out of the first one. We know that whenever similar bases are being divided, we subtract the powers. So 2 to the power of x equals to 2 to the power of n minus 1 over 3. And since the bases are same on both sides, we can put the power equal to each other. So x equals to n minus 1 over 3. That is the first equation. 2 to the power of y equals to square root of 2 being raised to the power of 5. Whenever we have power outside the bracket, inside the bracket, they get multiplied. So it becomes 2 to the power of 5 equals 2 to the power of 5 over 2. Once again, put the powers equal to each other because the bases are same on both sides. So now x plus y is 8. So n minus 1 over 3 plus 5 over 2 equals to 8. Make n the subject. So that's going to be 6. 48 minus 15 plus 2. And that is going to give us 35 over 6. That is your value of n. Question 21 says a solid cuboid has a volume of 300 centimeter cube. The cuboid has a total surface area of 370 centimeters squared. The length of the cuboid is 20 centimeters. The width of the cuboid is greater than the height of the cuboid. Work out the height of the cuboid. So cuboid has the formula of length times width times height for the volume. Length is given as 20, so 300 equals to 20 times width times height. 30 divided by 20 is 300 divided by 20 is 15. This is one equation. Then surface area is 370 centimeters square. So 370 equals to 2 times length and width plus 2 times width and height plus 2 times height and length. So the length is 20. So 370 equals to 2 times 20w plus 2 times 15 because width times height is given as 15 and 2 times 20 height. So that's 370 equals to 40w plus 30 plus 40h. 370 minus 30, 340 equals to 40w plus 40h. We can divide all of them by 10. So that's 34 equals to 2w plus 2h. We can further divide them by 2. That would be 17 equals to w plus h. When we divide all of them by 10, we're left with 34 equals to 4w plus 4h. And if we further divide it by 2, we have 17 equals to 2w plus 2h. Now we're going to use this. We can replace w with 15 over h. Why? Because if 15 equals to wh, 15 over h is w. So replace w with this. So 17 equals to 2 times 15 over h plus 2h. That's 17h equals to 30 plus 2h square. Bring everything on one side. 2h square minus 17h plus 30. Now we factorize this quadratic equation to find the value of h. So that's 2h square minus 12h minus 5h plus 30, which is 2h bracket h minus 6 minus 5 bracket h minus 6, h minus 6 times 2h minus 5. And that gives us h equals to 6 and h equals to 2.5. Now the question clearly says that the width of the cuboid is greater than the height of the cuboid. So that means height is 6 and width is going to be 2.5. So height is 6 centimeters. That's your answer. Question 22 says sketch the graph of y equals to sine x for x greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 360. So sine x basically has this graph. It has a maximum value of 1, minimum value of -1. The zeros are at 0, 1, 18, 360, maximum at 1, minimum at 217. And solve the equation of 2 sine x equals to -1, where x is between 0 and 360. So sine x would be -1 over 2. X would be sine inverse of -1 over 2, which will give us -30. Now sine is negative in the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So your x values are going to be 180 plus 30, which is 210, and 360 minus 30, which is 330. These are your answers. You start measuring your angle in the anti-clockwise direction from this 0 line, and you go till the line where the angle is. So 180 plus 30, 210, and 360 minus 30, which would be this. That's 330. So these are your answers. For question 3, C is a circle with center 0, 0. L is a straight line. The circle C and L intersect at the points P and Q. The coordinates of P are 5, 10, and the x coordinate of Q is -2. L has the positive gradient, crosses the y-axis at the point 0k. Find the value of k. So since the circle intersects the line at point P and Q, that means that if we draw this like this and say this is P and this is Q, we have the center over here. Both OP and OQ are the same because they represent the radius. Q equals to the radius, because the points are located on the circle, not inside the circle or outside the circle. So we can find the distance of OP, which is going to be 5 square plus 10 square. That's square root 125. OQ is also square root of 125. So using this value, we can find the y coordinate of Q. Square root of 125 equals to -2 square plus y square. The square roots get cancelled out. So 125 is 4 plus y square. 125 minus 4 equals to y square. 121. It is square root on both sides. So it's plus minus 11. Now keep in mind that line L has a positive gradient. So this is where this plus minus value will come in hand. So Q can either be -2 and 11 or -2 and -11. So we will determine this by finding the gradient of PQ. Why PQ? Because the line L has the point P and Q on it. So if we find the equation of line PQ, that's basically the same as the equation of line L. So gradient of PQ using the first set of points, and this 11 minus 10 over -2 minus 5. That's 1 over -7. So this shows that the gradient is negative. So we don't take this. Now if we use the second set, -11 minus 10 over -2 minus 5. That's negative 21 over negative 7, and that gives us positive 3. So this is correct, and this is wrong. So this is our gradient. I'm going to take 5, 10, and this gradient, y minus 10 equals to 3 times x minus 5. Y minus 10 equals to 3x minus 15. Y equals to 3x minus 15 plus 10. And y equals to 3x minus 5. This is our equation for the line PQ or line L. Now they want us to find the k value where it's the x, where it's the y coordinate of this point. So we put x equals to 0 and y equals to k. So k equals to 3 times 0 minus 5. K is negative 5. That is your final answer.